Hi guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. NMIXX came back on July 11th with their new single called Midsummer NMIXX Dream, with a pre-release called Roller Coaster and title track Party O'Clock. As you probably know, NMIXX is kinda in a weird place right now. They received a huge amount of hate since their debut, given their experimental and weird sound. Then, a couple of months after their first comeback, Ginny, one of the members, suddenly left the group. Something that shocked many people, myself included, also because she was my bias. And then they came back with Love Me Like This, which if you saw my review video, you know that I consider it a bop, but which still left me very disappointed and perplexed. That was their safest song for sure, and there was no trace of their pick and mix and mix pop concept, which is precisely about mixing different genres and sounds in their songs. But the biggest disappointment was probably in terms of lack of aesthetic and an overall underwhelming creative direction. As you may know, NMIXX has a lore, and they posted many videos before the release about a candy store that sold only one green candy, led by an antagonist that was doing experiments on answers and NMIXX fans. That was very interesting and unique, and I was really curious to see how this story would have unfolded in the MV. But we saw literally nothing about it, apart from some green stuff thrown now and there in the music video. The whole MV was plain, boring, and underwhelming, quite the opposite of what NMIXX aesthetic usually is. Overwhelming, weird, trippy, splashy colors, and so on. That was really a huge disappointment for me, even though, as I said, I love the song. With all this in mind, I was really curious to see what they had in store for their next comeback, because a lot of theories surrounding them and mix pop started to circulate on the internet after Love Me Like This was dropped. Someone said that they were dropping their mix pop concept forever. Someone else said that it was just to prove to the public that they were perfectly able to do normal music. Someone else said that they had to drop the pick and mix concept because Ginny left. I mean, there was a lot of buzz, that's for sure. That's why I was super curious for their next comeback, because hopefully it would have been more clear the direction they wanted to take, whether they wanted to pursue their unique and experimental sound or not. And when they announced that their new single album was called Midsummer NMIXX Dream, so referencing, of course, A Midsummer Night Dream by Shakespeare, you guys, I was completely thrilled and over the moon, you have no idea. First of all, I love Midsummer Night Dream. It's a super cool story. I really recommend you check it out if you haven't. I'm pretty sure there's also a movie. Also, I acted in the play when I was younger, so I'm also affectionate to the story. But most importantly, it's such a unique concept, and the aesthetic is amazing because it all takes place in a forest with fairies, magic juices that make people fall in love with the first person they see. I mean, I was already picturing the music video. I was sure that it was gonna be super aesthetically pleasing and trippy and mixed style, so I really couldn't wait. Between this and the new Powerpuff Girls album collab of New Jeans, I was feeling so blessed to be a girl group stan, you have no idea. But alas, all my dreams and hopes were inevitably shattered. I'm Julia, and this is Girl Groups in Your Area. Let's talk about it. Let's start with the pre-release Roller Coaster. I'm gonna be brief, because unfortunately there's not a lot to say. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, as a matter of fact. It's just not my cup of tea at all. There's nothing that excites me, that surprised me. Nothing. It doesn't feel NMIXX at all. It just feels like another group completely, and that's probably the thing that I'm most sorry about. It's not like I was expecting a OO 2.0, I mean, it's just a pre-release. But if we compare it to Young, Dumb and Stupid, their latest pre-release, at least that had the unique element of the Frère Jacques sample, the nursery rhyme song. Something that made the song distinctive and fresh. While in Roller Coaster, apart from their amazing vocals, nothing really stands out, and I feel that I will forget about this song in no time. Maybe I want to. Also, the music video was very boring and underwhelming, while instead it could have definitely been more interesting given the storyline behind it. because the plot revolves around Solyun, which is basically the main character that writes a letter to the other members while they are at school doing normal girl stuff, and she gave them an appointment at the pool to reveal her secret, which is that she's a mermaid. But we only see her as a mermaid, and so we understand all the plot after the song is over and just for a few seconds. So for the majority of the music video, they are teenagers who go to school and do normal stuff, which kind of reminds me a little bit of the mood of Love Me Like This and Young, Dumb and Stupid, where, contrary to their previous releases, they are depicted much more as normal teenage girls, kind of like New Jeans, if you get what I mean, rather than these characters that are about to go to this magical world that is Mixtopia, as their lore suggests. And this is reflected also in the styling, very normal, very laid back, very school vibes, which, again, NMIXX shouldn't be like this. And I'm not saying this because I want them to be something that they are not, but simply because with their first releases, they were presented with this edgy and trippy aesthetic, and it was the opposite of this normal teenage vibe that they are going for right now. But more on this later. So, I was disappointed overall, yes. But at the same time, I was like, come on, this is just a pre-release. I'm sure they're gonna go hard in the title track. Also, given the Shakespeare concept of the whole single album, I was expecting to see some elements of it also in the pre-release. But at the same time, I thought that they were keeping the fairy aesthetic of Midsummer Night Dream only for the title track, which made sense. But oh boy, I didn't know it back then, but I was about to be even more disappointed and sad.
Come on over right now, come on over right now. This party's not a party without you. Hurry up to the party. Waiting for you right now, waiting for you right now. You know that.
Okay, so where do I start? Let's start with the song. This is by far the first and only title track by NMIXX that I don't like at all. As I said before, even if Love Me Like This left me disappointed in many ways, and even if it wasn't mix pop, the song hit hard for me and I had it on replay for weeks. Oh is one of my favorite songs of 2022, and I'm pretty sure I am the defender number one of that song, because I loved it right away after the first listen. Dice took me a bit longer to digest it, but as soon as I did it, I was a bop that got me obsessed. So yeah, for the first time, NMIXX didn't hit for me. I didn't say this yet, but in case you didn't understand it, I stan NMIXX, okay? And I stan them for mainly 3 reasons. Their fun, experimental and weird sound, their trippy aesthetic, and their interesting lore. But we've got nothing. Zero. Nada of these things in here. I saw nothing of these things that made me fall in love with them in the first place. This song was chill, laid back. Again, it felt of another group completely. I argued on Instagram for 2 days because many people attacked me because I said that this wasn't mix pop, and of course, as they did with Love Me Like This, many NMIXX fans were like, this is mix pop, are you serious? Just because it's less messy doesn't mean that it's not mix pop. Look at the bridge, like, yes, in the bridge the beat changed, but you have an idea of how many K-pop songs have some sections that are very different from the rest of the song, because the instrumental change, the beat change, everything changed. So if this is mix pop, then everything is mix pop. You get what I mean? While at the beginning, it was clear that the pick and mix concept was to have almost 2 or more different songs in one. You can clearly see it in OO and in Dice. JYP labeled Party O'Clock as public-friendly mix pop, and it's for sure public-friendly, but mix pop? Not so much. It's clear that given all the hate that these girls received from the start, JYP decided to go a bit smoother with the concept and try to appeal to the public more, which, by all means, I get it, okay? We all need to pay the rent and the bills, and if this new direction will make the girls more successful, I'm truly happy for them. But don't act all shocked and outraged when someone says, I don't recognize them anymore and I don't like this new direction they're taking, because that's just stupid. On Instagram, some people told me that they are rookies and they are still discovering their sound and that we cannot expect something basing it only on their first 2 releases. And I could agree with them if it wasn't for the fact that JYP presented these girls in a very specific and unique way, with the whole mixed pop concept that is literally incorporated in the name of the group, and with their uniqueness, which you could have loved it or hated it, but it made them stand out, that's for sure. Listening to their songs and watching their music videos meant having fun, being surprised, being shocked also, and now they suddenly became the opposite of all this, and it's perfectly normal for a lot of people to be upset and confused. It's not like they decided to change a little bit identity after years of career, and we're not only talking about music genres, but the whole identity of the group is completely different. You could think that I'm exaggerating, but let's analyze the music video, which is, again, probably what disappointed me the most, more than the song itself. I always say it in my videos, for me the creative direction of a K-pop release is super important in every aspect. Of course the song is more important, but also the music video, the concept, the styling, the overall aesthetic play a huge real deal, being K-pop so centered on aesthetic. Maybe there's a song that's not really for me, but if the concept is unique and well delivered and every aspect is crafted with care and attention to the details, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna stream other songs, no problem. But what I really can't stand is when there is potential, there's a cool idea, there's budget, but the final product lacks creativity and aesthetic. That's something that makes me really mad, and that's precisely what happened here. Bear with me for a second. You have, as a concept, a super unique story, set in a forest, with fairies and magical creatures, and you are NMIXX, a group that has, or should have, a mind-blowing lore, a trippy and vibrant aesthetic. We saw it in DICE with their Alice in Wonderland concept. You guys have no idea how much I was happy and enthusiastic about that era. That is what made me stand them, okay? Maybe it's because I love Alice in Wonderland, but everything in there worked, visually and sonically, and above all, it screamed NMIXX in every possible way. While in here, what do we have? We see again the girls in standard clothes, in ordinary settings, with a lot of product placement, alternated with some scenes where we see the members indeed in a forest with a fairy-like styling, but just a few glimpses of them really, apart from the last scene where we see the members with these colorful umbrellas that remind me of jellyfish, which is an animal that we find often in their lore, some cute bubbles, and that's it. I swear, when the MV was over, I just wanted to scream and throw away my computer. No, but seriously though, I had such high expectations for this and everything disappointed me. The song, the settings, the styling, the overall vibe. Like, a lot of people said that they wanted to do something chiller for summer and that it completely made sense. Well, you can do something more chill without completely, again, losing your identity, because that's what it seems to me. I was really expecting a super aesthetically pleasing music video, and I was so curious to see how they would have adjusted the Shakespeare concept into a K-pop music video, because that was really interesting and promising. Instead, who thought it was a good idea to switch from a fairies in the forest scene to the girls in literally jumpsuits that brush their hair with a sponsored airbrush? Like, Jesus Christ, be for real for 1 second. Oh, maybe that's where we see the pick and mix concept, in the music video, not in the song, because this looks like 2 MVs cut and put together with no sense whatsoever. I'm mad, you guys. I'm really mad, as you can tell. I really don't know what to do with NMIXX. I think I'm gonna wait for their next comeback, and if that will be disappointing too, unfortunately, I'm gonna stop standing them, and I say this with such a heavy heart, you have no idea. And before someone says, well, it's okay to not like a song from an artist you stan, it can happen, but this is not just for the song, because again, it's the first title track of NMIXX that I don't like, so it's okay. But it's everything else that worries me. Where is the splashy aesthetic? Where is the fun and the plot twist? And, dear lord, where is the fucking lore? Because that's another thing that really bothers me. We were shown through photos and clips this cool and fascinating lore about this magical world, the Mixtopia, a lot of symbolism, a lot of animals, especially water animals, a lot of deep meanings about the power of dreams and imagination, but then in the actual music video, we basically see nothing about it. I mean, where the fuck was the whole storyline about the candy shop Oasis that they tease us for weeks in the Love Me Like This music video? And before you say it, I know it's quite typical to have a lot of theories about lores, and it's something that is not always shown in the MV, but as someone who loves lores and has started to stan aespa for example, for their lore and concept, I was really hoping that NMIXX would have had a similar approach to their lore. So showing the actual story and settings in their music videos, also because it fits their aesthetic and sound super well, and everything is consistent, you know? Because again, everything seems very trippy, colorful, fun, and again, that's one of the things that made me decide to stan them. But now, it just seems that JYP is pushing the typical teenage girls vibes with a chill and fresh sound. Again, very new jeans, I have to say it, and not because I'm one of those people that whenever someone do something they say, oh, they copied new jeans, but I mean, it's quite objective that new jeans brought this breath of fresh air in K-pop, embodying a more simple and ordinary aesthetic, contrary to the usually elaborate makeup and styling that we see every day in K-pop. And again, this is quite the opposite of what NMIXX showed to the world when they debuted. I don't know, I feel that they're very lost, and therefore it's very confusing to see. But let me clarify one thing before this video ends. Nothing of all the things that I said are meant to criticize the members of NMIXX. They are super talented. As a matter of fact, I think they are the most talented rookies out there. And they are also super funny and sweet, and I wish them nothing but happiness and success. And if they're gonna reach that with this new sound and image, I'm truly happy for them, and I'm gonna root for them in any case. So please, if someone calls me an NMIXX hater here in the comment sections like they did on Instagram, I'm gonna lose it. Okay? Okay, I think I said all I had to say. I'm usually not this negative in my videos. I always try to find some things that I like, even with the most disappointing releases, but I had so many expectations on NMIXX that I just feel sad and angry right now. We'll see what the future has in store for NMIXX. I'm gonna be here hoping that I can reconcile with them. This was all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!